Cool. Hey. Hi, Marco.
Hey Niels.
Thank you for taking the time. Hey, everyone. My name is Niels. This is Marco from Plausible.io. He's nice enough to take the time to talk to me today. You might know me from a couple of videos we posted on LinkedIn. We're Dinghy is a small agency where we've been rebuilding our website since the beginning of the year. And now it's actually done and complete. Like we didn't actually tell anyone yet, but we made it all the way to the end and integrated, analytics into our site. But we didn't use Google Analytics. And as I said, Marko from Plausible, an EU-based analytics alternative to Google Analytics, and that is privacy aware first. But Marko, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about Plausible.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you have a good overview there. We're Plausible Analytics, alternative to what everyone knows, Google Analytics. We are based in Europe. All of our stuff is hosted in Europe, in the EU, and yeah, our focus is on being, doing some things that Google Analytics doesn't do that well, and some of the things that many people are unhappy about Google Analytics, which include being lightweight, being easy to use, and being privacy friendly. So those are kind of the three core principles why people use Plausible, and like why we're a better alternative to Google Analytics to some people.
Very cool. So, I mean, as people in the EU, we know since the launch of GDPR that these topics are stirring up some conversation, I would say. If I remember correctly, a while ago, like Italy as a country banned Google Analytics. Is that even true?
There was quite a few cases last year. Like I think it started in Austria, and there was Italy, Denmark. There's a blog post on our blog which kind of lists all of these countries, basically lists what they did and what they said. Nothing about our opinion. It's just basically what they've decided. And yeah, several European countries have decided that using Google Analytics is illegal. So that was one of the reasons why we had a good year last year, and many people came over to us because they're like, okay, our country says using Google Analytics is illegal. Let me go look for alternatives, and some of them find us.
I'm sure this is, I mean, and maybe just to tell our viewers a little bit what this video is going to get at. So as we've been building out our website, and we also, I mean, as an agency, we've had a ton of contact with Google Analytics, Tag Manager, like all of the stuff that comes through Tag Manager, like LinkedIn Insight, Pixels, and, like all of this amazing stuff that gets added to a website once it's sort of done. And we run websites for our clients. We thought we'd use our website as an example. We'll show some light code examples, but basically just to illustrate what the process of introducing Plausible is, how it works. We're on SvelteKit today. Doesn't really matter. I know Plausible has a ton of guides for more popular frameworks like Next.js and, well, basically every platform out there. My question, I'll bring a couple questions for Marko today, out of the perspective of an agency. So our mission this year is to, well, pay a little bit more attention to these things and maybe get a couple of our customers on board to evaluate Plausible as an alternative to their Google Analytics setups, because we have like requests like, hey, we have to update our data privacy policy again. Now it's like 15 kilometers long because we have to do all of this sort of stuff, right? And along the way, we'll talk about a couple of things that are an advantage in Plausible. We'll also show the platform, of course, so you know what's going on. And Marko, yeah, maybe you can guide me through it and tell the people a couple of things that you would like to point out as we see them. All
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Good. So I'll share my screen right now. Let's go. Let's jump into the product maybe first of all, so everybody can see what it looks like. This is our dashboard now for Dinghy.studio. Not the most impressive stats. I'm sure other people have more websites visitors. But
we need to get one visitor on your site right now. So your current visitors changes to 1 at least. You have 0 right now.
So that's maybe the first thing. Like what I personally love about Plausible over something like Google Analytics, for example, is that I have the feeling that I can understand what this tells me. Like I was always, whenever I entered Google Analytics, also other people's properties in my capacity as an agency owner, I'm not like, we're not an SEO agency. Like we're not super pro in these things. Still, like we do a lot of user testing and we want to understand the user experience people have on the site. And I always felt overwhelmed with Google Analytics. And I personally love this view, for example. Like it's just defaulted to last 30 days. I can see like unique visitors. I understand what that is. And it has live visitors too, right? What else can we see, Marko?
Yeah, I mean, so our idea is to create a simple one-page dashboard. So you don't need to go, like Google Analytics has hundreds of different options in the side menu on the left side. Then you have headings and subheadings and so on. So our idea is to have everything on one dashboard. So anyone without prior experience or without any, I don't know, people take many like courses and stuff to learn Google Analytics, but for us the idea is that without any of that, you can just come in, open the dashboard and understand it. So for example, the top part, like you had before, is just a simple overview of the last 30 days. What you have there in terms of, you can click on any of those things such as
yeah, now I clicked into Monday, Jan 22. Like, let's see.
So
I don't know. I just went here.
It's easy to change and click around, and you can even click on all the top metrics, so total visits, so total page views, and so on, to show them too. So
I think I didn't even see that before.
Oh, really? So also like
Yeah.
where it says days there, there where it says days on the right,
Here.
just there, you can switch to like different intervals, and that depends on your range. So you can go, if you're on today, for example, you can switch to minute view. If you're on, if you go to today, then it's just
I can go to minutes.
So there's it's simple, but there's enough power there, and it's powerful enough that you can get some cool insights if you know what you're looking for, obviously.
Yes. So for today, I could see that. Well, here at at 7 and at a little bit 9:40 or whatever, there were people on our side.
Yeah, they're early in the morning. They're early on.
As probably be preparing for our interview today. Let's see, but maybe it's somebody else.
So that's the top chart.
Cool.
Then if you go further down, you have top sources, like what drives traffic to your site. You have the campaign tabs, which are used a lot for advertising. So if you're doing say ads on Google or whatever, you would tag your ads with all the UTM parameters, and then we will track those there. Then you have on the right, you have the top pages, exit pages, and entry pages. Again, so we basically try to give you a quick overview of all the essentials. So on the left, you can see where people come from in terms of referral sites and so on, or campaigns, paid campaigns. On the right, you can see actually what they do on the site in terms of pages they view, or where they land, like such as your landing pages, or where they exit the site, exit pages.
Imprint. Many people are entering through the imprint. That's very interesting.
If you click on any of the details buttons, you can see a bit more details as well about each of these. So you can see the total number of entries, from the total number of unique visitors that have entered that page, total number of entrances, visit durations, Same, say if you go back to top sources, you can do the same. If you click on details in top sources, you can see things such as the bounce rate for each source and visit duration for each source. So again, simple to use, but when you need it, if you need it, it can get powerful in detail as well, and it can kind of give you, plenty of insights into what's going on in your site, what's working in terms of marketing campaigns, what's working in terms of landing pages and content and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And I really like how I can get an easy overview over this. Like it includes like the tiny icons, so I can scan this super quickly, and like recognize DuckDuckGo, Ecosia. It's very interesting.
Another thing people like is that you can click on, say, Google on that screen.
Oh.
And now you filtered your dashboard to show only people that have arrived to your site from Google. So if you go up to the top again, now this only shows people that have arrived from Google in the last 30 days. And again, you can click, you can switch to unique visitors. So this is your traffic in the last 30 days from Google as a referral source only.
Amazing.
Nothing else is included. So if you scroll down a bit now, so now top sources has become search terms. So now because you have integrated with Google Search Console, we now show the keywords people typed into Google to land on your site.
Nice.
So basically, again, simple, but if you click on anything, it gets filtered down and you can segment your audience. And same type of filtering works for pages, for entry pages, for exit pages, for countries, for cities, for devices, everything. Anything in the menu, in the dashboard can be clicked to drill further down.
That's very cool. And that is like, it's almost as if you don't really have to know that. Since you can just go here, and even if I didn't know what it did, I could just click, right?
See now the top menu tells you sources Google, countries Germany. So now everything you see is people from Germany that have arrived to your site from Google. So you can see the regions, you can see devices they use, and up at the bottom you have goal conversions. So now you see the goals and custom events you've set up. These are basically conversions coming from Google as a source and country Germany. They're not showing all the conversions, they're just showing those conversions.
Nice. Very cool. This is very cool. And I think, so, I don't know, stuff that I, as a front-end developer, had always on my table to set up as well, to integrate a tracking solution, first of all. And then there was always the request to add events to different stuff, like stuff that people click on, right? And to parse UTM parameters of incoming links. I think those were like the top requests I always had. And so in here, it's just super nice to see that this is kind of a default thing, right? Like it's just integrated. It just works.
We have experience doing this ourselves, plus speaking to people, and these are some of the common issues, is like tracking campaigns using UTM tags. So we're like, how do we build this automatically so it's obvious and intuitive and it just works out of the box? So it does. As long as you tag your links, on Google Ads or on social media or email newsletters, as long as you tag them and you have some kind of a system, the way you tag in different categories, so you actually understand what the tags mean. If you do that, it's all tracked here. And even you can drill down, like I mentioned before. You can click to drill down by specific UTM tags as well.
Nice. So I can go on Clutch and see whoever came in with this UTM parameter set.
And then if you go to entry pages, for example, you can then see those that clicked on UTM links tagged with Clutch, which pages they landed on. And again, if you scroll further down, you can see which things they converted on in terms of events.
And where they came from. This is also super amazing.
Yeah, basically that kind of stuff is can get pretty deep in terms of what insights you can get as a marketer, as a company owner, site owner, and so on. You mentioned UTM tags, that was one, and you mentioned also custom events. So we've tried to do something similar with custom events.
Yeah.
Like how do we make that process simple so people can use them also without needing a developer team? So we have things such as, we can automatically track things such as external link clicks. That's the one thing people like, oh, how do I track links or clicks that go to, I don't know, my affiliate links or my social media profiles? And we can do that automatically. So you don't need to set it up manually, like on each click or each button. We just automatically can track external links. We can track 404 error pages automatically. That's also another thing people will, oh, how do I see, where people find broken links and things like that, like what error pages people encounter. And we can also track file downloads. That's another thing we can do automatically, like, oh, I want to see, I don't know, what file people download the most, what file format people use the most. So we've tried to kind of make some of these common use cases pretty easy to use without, any coding knowledge, any kind of technical knowledge required. We do the same for page view goals, which I've seen you use on your dashboard a lot. Is like, how do I track specific pages, but I don't need to set up events and things. So you can like use our page view goals, which like, say you have a store or e-commerce store, and you have like a order confirmation page.
Yeah.
And these are dynamic. So the page URL changes from each order to order because you have like an order number within the page URL. So you can, we allow you to group all those in one goal, which can be like order successfully placed page, or, you can call, basically, we've tried to make these kind of things easy. So you can then, group all these dynamically created pages into one goal, which is always permanently displayed on your dashboard, and you can click on it to see, how many people entered, how many people completed this goal or purchased this product. And what happens then is that if you click on the goal, so if you scroll down, and click on any of your goals, say click on your most popular goal. You can click.
I don't know. I like contact.
Well, now that you filtered your dashboard by people that confirmed that specific goal, that converted on a specific goal, if you go up again, say top sources, now your top sources report only shows sources that draw people that converted on that specific goal. So we can say that 10 of your conversions to goal visit contact came from Google in this time period.
That is super interesting information, really. I mean, and it's super easy to get, right?
So imagine one of your clients. Most of your clients will probably be businesses. They run ads. So you could have let me click on my UTM campaign tag that I'm using for this campaign, and let me click on the goal that I'm really focused on achieving with this campaign. So you can filter the dashboard by these two metrics only. So then we will only show you people that enter your site from that specific campaign and people that converted that specific goal at the same time. So you kind of have the full view, and you can present that to, in your reports and so on.
And the only thing I had to do was to go to the conversion, like to the goal conversion, click on contact, and then kind of just select the campaign that I wanted, right? And everything else transforms over.
Exactly. Your entry pages will be that, your devices will be that, your countries will be that. They will only show those people that clicked on that UTM campaign and converted on a goal at the same time.
So cool. Hey, so maybe to the keyword of custom events, right? I brought our site here just because my co-founder Daniel integrated Plausible, and there's like a couple details I wanted to mention. So maybe also for our customers who run websites, and we're talking about switching away from analytics to Plausible, right? And so a common thing I hear is that if people have backend tracking set up and client-side Google Analytics setup, that the visitor numbers they're just not the same. I mean, there's so many people who either don't agree to the consent question to load Google Analytics. There's other people with ad blockers. There's I don't know. I don't even know what, for example, Safari's default tracking protection does now, and Firefox's as well. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about the difference between this in Google Analytics world and the approach that we followed, which is to load Plausible not directly from plausible.io, but what we did, and so bear with me, it's just like a tiny technical thing. So if you ever saw the tracking code that you had to implement when you set up Google Analytics, this is the equivalent for Plausible. But as you can see here, nowhere in here it says plausible.io. Script.js on our own website, so to say. And how this works is that our website is hosted on vercel.com now. Like, this part probably varies, but the concept is the same, is that we redirect the request to this Dinghy/script.js. It's kind of just like a hoax. It just pretends to exist on our server, because what Vercel does on the server side is to redirect this request to plausible.io. So I assume this helps prevent ad blockers from blocking this tracking solution. Can you tell us a little bit more about all of this story, maybe?
Well, yeah, I mean, so people come to us with different questions and different issues they have about marketing in general, and then we try to find some good solutions to the issues that they are facing. So many people, many in Europe and so on, they are, by their legal team, they're required to add consent banners. Accept that I can track you using hundreds of different JavaScripts from hundreds of different platforms and send your personal data to monetize it or whatever. So many people, obviously, they say reject. And
yes.
We've seen cases, I mean, probably you've also seen your customers, if you kind of discuss these things, that 90+% of people just say reject. If you make it easy, if you make it easy for them to say it, and legally you have to make it easy for them to reject it. So
the legal requirement is that they're on the same level, right? Like you should have two primary buttons, and one is accept and one is reject.
Yeah, you have
anything, so to say.
There's a lot of websites that try to do it differently with some patterns, and they're like, oh, you have to click several times to go. But most, and even Google these days allows you one click to reject their tracking if you're in European Union, which is the positive thing of the GDPR. So that's one issue that many marketers have, is like, okay, I don't know, 50, 40, 50, 70, 80, depends on the site, really. Depends on your relationship with your customers. X percentage of my visitors are invisible to me because they click to reject, and I cannot see them at all. So that's one issue.
But that is a lot. Like, I honestly, I didn't have any idea what that number would be. I expected this to be, I don't know, maybe half or whatever. But 90% is
if you make it
radical.
easy to do. If you make it easy to do, and then it depends on, first of all, your site and your relationship with the visitor, whether they know you and they trust you, and then the source. Say you're just driving traffic from some campaign on social media or whatever, and you just give that big as the first thing they see on your site is that big thing. Do you allow us to track you on whatever these different partners, and then you have an easy reject and easy accept next to each other.
Yes.
Quite a decent percentage of people just choose reject in those cases. But yeah, it depends on the site, and it can be, maybe you're lucky, you get 10%, maybe you're unlucky, you get 95%. We've seen everything. That's one. The second one is the ad blockers. This is more like this doesn't affect as many sites as the cookie consent thing, but it can affect. If you have a technical website with, like, say, audience of developers, you can have maybe 40% of your audience using ad blockers.
Would you say ad blockers is a thing that advanced users or like more tech savvy users only have?
Not necessarily only, but it's not something that as big as the GDPR concept, and which everyone can see, and everyone can easily read and click reject.
Yes.
I know that the Safari, like you mentioned, Safari does some blocking out of the box. So does Firefox, Brave. So they block some things with Google Analytics by default. So, like, anyone using Firefox or Safari might be blocking something. I think they block cookies and stuff. They don't necessarily block the whole visit from being recorded, but they block something. And then ad blockers block everything. So these are the two kind of concerns that people came to us, and they're like, okay, so how can we help? And one is obviously that you can run Plausible, like you mentioned, we make it easy to like run it from your own domain. So say you have a WordPress website. Our WordPress plugin, with one click, you can enable this feature. You don't even need to do the code part that you've done there.
Very cool. Yeah, this is just in SvelteKit now.
We have other examples in our documentation on how to do this on other platforms. So you've done something on your site from Vercel. And yeah, basically, if you have these kind of concerns and they're important to you, we have some kind of solutions that can help you with that.
Perfect.
That's how this came about.
Very cool. So what we did here, I mean, as you mentioned before, many things just happen automatically. So if we just, like reload this, then the page loads. And as you'd expect, like the first thing that's here is we can see now that here's an event that fired. And we can see what happened. It's just super straightforward, right? Like it says page view, which page are we on, which domain, and that's it.
Straightforward for developers. I have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah, I know. But so like SvelteKit, like many other frameworks that are a single page application where once it loads, it doesn't really change the URL anymore. And we do the same thing. For us, it was just super easy to set up these events. So here we have a custom one that I'd actually be interested in looking at on the dashboard now. So we added a custom event that says that someone opened the small navigation. And I didn't check. And I honestly, I don't know where this comes out now on the dashboard in Plausible. We didn't really test, but maybe we can go check and see if it came somewhere.
If you set it up as a goal, it will be in the goal section.
It will be in the goal section. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can find, or like we can probably set this to today. And then here it is. Absolutely amazing.
What that says is that you have one visitor. You can go back to the goal tab. You have one visitor today. It's 6 times that one visitor has done this goal 6 times in total. And that stands for 7%.
Awesome.
The CR is conversion rate, and that's 7% of the total audience in that segment. So basically,
I see.
Yeah. I guess
so 7% of the visitors today,
yes, have clicked
opened
on
the mobile menu.
Navigation small screen, which is one unique visitor currently I can see. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and so I mean, from our side, like again, as Marko mentioned, there's plugins for the more popular platforms like WordPress and so on. Like what we have is SvelteKit, and I think also in Next.js it's probably something like this. But I just wanted to going light on the code stuff. I just wanted to show you, like for me as a front-end developer, the only thing it takes to send a custom event in the mobile menu now is to just add this stuff here. Like there's this little tracking hook that we made over here. They just have to do that once, and then you can just add it to any link element and kind of provide the name of the goal that you want to send. And in this case, it also takes the URL and the label of the link or whatever. But so once we had this set up, we could just go through the site and add stuff wherever, like anything that was sort of interesting. We could just add these events. And I think it's super interesting, as you mentioned, that we can see this now. And I mean, to get back to the stuff we talked about before, I could probably, like, we don't have enough data, like enough visitors now that for this to work, but I can probably then also cross-reference that with like sources or campaigns, so I can see from this campaign how many people, I don't know, interacted with my newsletter sign up, which is probably more interesting than the mobile menu opening.
it really, we build the tool with all the feedback, and we give you the tool, and then you use it for whatever you need. Some people find that interesting, some people find this interesting. We just create that tool that kind of makes it easy for you, and then the way you use it, it's really up to you. And we love any way people use it and what people do with it.
Very nice. And so maybe coming to the end, coming up on half an hour, I don't want to take up too much of your time anyway, but so what we've seen today is that you can get all of this data by basically just clicking around. And I really want to emphasize that you're kind of just living on this one page. Like there's not an elaborate menu to add more features and to yarf and add dimensions and all of the stuff that you can do on Google Analytics. As someone who's interested in how your visitors use your website, you're just on this one thing and that's it. Like you don't need a consent banner to add Plausible. You can get much more traffic recorded because you can kind of go around, like you don't have a consent banner, first of all. Second of all, you don't even have to worry about ad blockers. And I think that is super amazing. Like for us, this is also just a drop-in solution for every website we build for customers. And maybe as a last question going out, for people considering leaving their analytics setup, do you have anything that they should consider? Like I don't know. I always, for example, if they are running Google Ads or whatever, can they use this together, or what do people do with these sort of things? Like that's probably the first question I would get.
No, it really depends on the situation. What's good thing about this is that we're very lightweight. Our script is very lightweight. So you can, what many people do is that they install Plausible script alongside Google Analytics script. So they're running both simultaneously on the same site. We have, like, for example, a 30-day free trial. So you could run these two combined on the same site for 30 days. And it won't affect your loading time, or you won't need to pay anything using those 30 days, during those 30 days. And then you can see. That allows you enough time to figure out what you can get from Plausible. Can you get the same stuff that used to be important to you in Google? Is there something that's missing? Is there something that you'll need to change in terms of how you do things? It really depends on the individual situation. But again, we try to make it as easy as possible, as smooth as possible to do this transition. So yeah, you can run them simultaneously. You have 30 days for free to check it and see what's going on, whether Plausible is good enough for you and does what you need. And then if you say, okay, it's great, let me then switch off, remove Google Analytics, and I go permanently full-time for Plausible. We also have the import. You can import your old data from Google Analytics.
Really?
So yeah, basically, we've tried to do the process as smooth as possible, and now we have almost 12,600 subscribers, paying subscribers, and I would say 9 out of 10 of those have come from Google Analytics and are familiar with Google Analytics.
Of course,
So we've tried to smooth that process, make it easy for most people, really. So how you do that, and what you use the Google Analytics for, and what you need your Plausible for, it's kind of depending on the situation. It's difficult to discuss more general. But
sure.
Yeah, we try to make it easy, and I think it is pretty easy to do so if you're interested and have the need, and so it's worth checking out.
Perfect. Last feature I want to mention, because I love that a lot. You can get I think a weekly and a monthly report sent to an email address. In our case, I just added an email address connected to our Slack channel. So this email kind of drops into our Slack channel every Monday, and I'm always looking forward to it. Like I know that I kind of come to my computer on Monday, it can open this thing, and I love that it includes the same way the dashboard did, the change over compared to the week before. Yeah. And this is just, for me, I get 7 of these reports for different sites that we're running, and I can just look at them in a second and see, oh, better, oh, worse, oh, what are we doing? And then go in and check what happened. And I think that's just super convenient.
Have you checked out the traffic spike notification email?
No.
Like you can set it up. So that's another thing people are asking us. So how, if I get a traffic spike, can you tell me so I can go to my dashboard and see what's going on immediately rather than having to visit the dashboard all the time? So now if you go to your settings of your specific site, in the same section where you set up the email reports, you can set up the traffic spike notification. So you can tell us, okay, email me every time I get, I don't know, you can select it yourself, 100 visitors on the website at a specific time, or 10, or 5, or 1,000. You know, you can set your
qualifies
range
as a spike for you.
Yeah, exactly.
For
and
us,
then,
it's like 5.
You set it up. You can even get it over to Slack, kind of like you're doing with regular emails. And then they will send you a notification. Then there's the data amount of visitors on your site at that moment. And then if you see it, obviously in the same moment you click, you check out, oh, somebody influential shared my my blog post on Twitter or other LinkedIn.
Nice. And so you can react to it quickly.
Be there in the moment, kind of real time. You can see things thanks to this this little feature, which is pretty cool. But that's the one I like.
Very nice. Very nice. Cool. So I think we made it all the way to the end. Again, Marko, thank you.
My voice is right because I have some kind of I don't know, flu or whatever. I have
yeah. So drink a lot of tea or whatever.
I'm gonna go tea and honey right now.
Yeah, cool. So again, thank you for taking the time. This was a very nice session, going through these things. And to anyone out there, we've been on Plausible, at least with our website, for 3 years now. I think I never noticed that it was down or anything. It's always super fast. We can use it as people who are not like search engine marketing super pros and just get a super quick overview. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Marko. I'm happy that companies like Plausible exist to make the web just a little bit more data privacy aware, because I think the times of just hoarding everything and selling it around have to come to an end at some point. And you're making it easier for that to happen. So that's cool.
Yeah, thanks, Niels. Thanks for the invite and all the kind words. I really appreciate it and your support over the years.
Good. All right. Cool. So see you, everybody. Let us know if you have any questions, and otherwise, see you on the next one. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool. Amazing.
I hope it was useful for you.
Totally.